This is Bo Duke and Luke Duke. They're cousins. They fight the system.
February 8, 1985, the final episode of The Dukes of Hazzard airs on CBS. The show that had been number 2 in all of American television, second only to Dallas, goes out without a proper goodbye. No announcement, no final statement, just silence. But that's not the ending they hid. The real ending happened after the cameras stopped rolling. In a parking lot, in a car with no engine, with one of the biggest stars on American television sitting alone behind the wheel. Nobody broadcast it. Nobody talked about it. And the show didn't just end in 1985. It ended again in 2015. And nobody explained that one either. Today, we're uncovering the ending they hid for over 45 years. Let's go. Fact 10. The show that was never canceled. The Dukes of Hazzard was never officially canceled. CBS simply didn't renew it for season 8. No announcement, no press release, no final statement from the network that had broadcast all 147 episodes. John Schneider said he waited for the phone call that would save it, genuinely believing, right up to the last moment, that CBS would call and say there couldn't be a world without the Dukes. The call never came. 7 seasons. 40 million viewers at the peak. The show didn't end. It just stopped. The network that had built its entire Friday night schedule around Hazzard County for 7 years couldn't find the time to say goodbye. Fact 9. The finale that wasn't written as one. The episode that became the series finale was not written as a finale. Boss Hogg gets kidnapped at a charity talent show. Bo and Luke rescue him. Roscoe does a magic trick. Everyone hugs on stage. Schneider co-wrote and directed it with no idea it would be the last episode. The network hadn't confirmed cancellation. No one told the writers. No one told the cast. An episode about a talent show at a local bar became, entirely by accident, the last thing 40 million people ever saw of Hazzard County. Schneider said it felt more like a Tuesday than a goodbye. Fact 8. The last scene. Nobody saw. The final televised scene shows the whole cast hugging on the Boar's Nest stage. It looks like a goodbye. It was not the last thing filmed. The last scene shot was Bo and Luke in the General Lee, in the parking lot outside. An ordinary piece of dialogue for an ordinary episode on what turned out to be the last day. When the cameras stopped rolling, Schneider said, "Well, that's a wrap." The rear projection screen behind the windshield went blank. He sat alone behind the wheel of a General Lee with no engine and cried like a baby. That moment never aired. It never appeared on any DVD. It happened in a parking lot in front of a crew that had spent 7 years together, and it disappeared. Fact 7. The man who never got a cent. Before there was Bo Duke, there was Jerry Rushing, a real moonshine runner from Taylorsville, North Carolina, who drove a modified 1958 Chrysler capable of 140 miles per hour with a full load of illegal liquor. He named the car Traveler after General Robert E. Lee's horse. That car became the General Lee. Rushing's life story formed the basis for the Dukes of Hazzard. He was never credited. Warner Brothers made hundreds of millions from his story. He sued for royalties multiple times and received undisclosed settlements that never matched what the show had earned. He appeared in one episode, believed it would become a recurring role, and never appeared again. Jerry Rushing died on July 23, 2017. No press release from Warner Brothers. No statement from the cast. Without him, none of this exists. Fact 6. The car that didn't survive the show. The General Lee didn't survive the show. The production went through between 250 and 355 of them across 7 seasons, buying, wrecking, and replacing 1969 Dodge Chargers at a pace that eventually outran every available supply. When Dodge discontinued the model, producers would spot one on the street and buy it on the spot. Some owners had no idea their car would be destroyed on a California soundstage within weeks. By the final seasons, the production couldn't even afford real ones anymore. The solution: 2-foot scale models on miniature sets, cut into the action to pass as the real thing. The cast hated it. The stunt drivers who had built careers on those jumps watched their work be replaced by toys. Of all the General Lees that went into production, only 19 survived. The most famous car in American television was consumed almost entirely by the show it made famous. Fact 5. The 2 men nobody wanted. In 1982, Schneider and Wopat walked off the show over unpaid royalties. To fill the gap, producers introduced two look-alike cousins, Coy and Vance Duke, and wrote Bo and Luke out by sending them to race NASCAR across the country. There was one problem. Bo and Luke were on probation. Their entire backstory was built on the fact that they couldn't legally leave Hazzard County. Then, the moment it became inconvenient, they were sent to race cars across America without explanation. Audiences noticed immediately. Ratings collapsed. Coy and Vance lasted 18 episodes before Warner Brothers settled, brought the real Duke boys back, and wrote the replacements out as tending a sick relative. Hazzard County tried to replace its own heroes. It found out within weeks that it couldn't. A finale that wasn't written as one. A last scene that never aired. The man whose life created the whole show died without a word from the studio. The ending of The Dukes of Hazzard in 1985 was quiet, accidental, and incomplete. The ending that came 30 years later was sudden, public, and also unexplained. Fact 4. The promise nobody can prove. Lee 1. The original General Lee from the opening credits, the car that flew 82 feet in 1978 and was found in an Atlanta junkyard 23 years later, was purchased at auction in 2012 by professional golfer Bubba Watson for $121,000. Watson called it his dream car. He drove it publicly. Then, the Charleston shooting happened in 2015, and the Confederate flag on the roof became impossible to ignore. Watson tweeted, "All men are created equal. I will be painting the American flag over the roof of the General Lee." He never released a photograph of the finished car. No image, no proof, no confirmation it ever happened. John Schneider was asked directly. "I've heard that he took the flag off," Schneider said. "But honestly, I have no reason to believe that's true." Bo Duke doesn't believe Bubba. And nobody has ever proven him wrong. Fact 3. The week the show disappeared. TV Land pulled the entire series from its schedule in June 2015, without public explanation, without a timeline, without any statement about what would happen next. Warner Brothers announced it would stop selling merchandise featuring the Confederate flag. The show that had syndicated continuously for 3 decades was removed from broadcast television in 7 days. No discussion with the cast, no date when it might return. The ending CBS had delivered in 1985 with silence was delivered again in 2015, also in silence. The show that Schneider had described as the only constant in his life for 7 years ended twice. Neither time did anyone think the audience deserved an explanation. Fact 2. The reunion that started at a funeral. The idea for the 1997 reunion movie was born at Sorrel Book's funeral. The surviving cast gathered to say goodbye to the man who had played Boss Hogg for 7 seasons and decided, standing there, that they needed to come back. When they did, Book's absence was impossible to hide. Denver Pyle had lost so much weight from lung cancer that the production put him in a fat suit and a white wig to make him look like himself. He died on Christmas Day, 1997, months after filming wrapped. Tom Wopat later said he was opposed to further reunions because the absence of Book and Pyle was so visible on screen that the chemistry simply wasn't there anymore. The reunion that the cast had decided to make at a funeral eventually made reunions feel impossible. Fact 1. The ending they hid. The real final scene of The Dukes of Hazzard was never broadcast. It was never released. It was Bo and Luke Duke in the General Lee in a parking lot after everyone else had gone. When the projection screen behind the windshield went blank, John Schneider sat there alone. He had been Bo Duke since he was 18 years old. The show had been the only constant in his life for 7 years. The car had no engine. The screen was dark. He said, "Well, that's a wrap." And then he cried. That was the ending. Not the hugs on the boar's nest stage, not the silence from CBS, not the flag controversy 30 years later. A man alone in a car that couldn't move, on a set that was already being packed away around him, with a screen that had already gone blank before he was ready for it to.